I left my career, I left my job at a time when my parents needed help.
The worst thing about disability is that people see it before they see you. Disability cannot stop one from becoming a complete personality. Always say, yes, you can, and yes, I will. Hello and welcome to Rabbi Rashi Foundation. Sharmila Divatia is the founder of Vardhan for You, Bringle, and AbleKart. She has been recognized as resource for disability issues by Government of India, has worked in the corporate sector for 25 years in the IT domain. She has been a close associate in the MSME sector and is an inspiration for many women out there, men out there, all the small businesses out there. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है.
Namaskar, and thank you for such a lovely introduction.
Okay, to start with, Sharmila ji, what inspired you to begin with Vardhan for You and the other ventures that you have? And tell us about your story in short. Over to you.
Thank you, Rashi. And well, my story starts at age 5.5 when I fell ill with encephalitis while very in fever. And it took me a month to come out of a coma that I went into, and 18 years of therapy to get to speak, talk, and see properly, because that's what took the toll. My eyesight, my speech, and my hand and leg. My left hand is still not really usable except as a weapon of force. I have strength, but not minor movements with me. But it's really not something that has held me up anywhere. I am a MSc in Maths, Diploma in Computer Science, and I have a MBA in Operations. Academically, very well set up. The other thing that pushed me to get to my goals in life, that is freedom, as in independence, was from my parents. They have been my backbone, both my brothers, my entire friend circle. They have treated me as who I am, Sharmila Divatia, not as a person with disability. So I cycle, I swim, I also run marathons. I am not hampered by physical movement. Yes, I do have problems. I don't deny that. I still continue with my physiotherapy because I am not pain free. So I do that. I continue to evolve with my speech. I learn techniques to get better. And that part, getting better, is also a part of my professional life, which has helped me in giving an edge to all my ventures. Ventures came because I came back home. I left my career, I left my job at a time when my parents needed help. So I came back home after 20 years in the big bad city of Mumbai. I've enjoyed the corporate career, but at some point in time, you have to look at professional and personal goals. So I chose to come back, and now I am an entrepreneur for the past 5.5 years because I could not sit at home and do nothing. So I connected with my ex-colleague Ajay Jain, who had started with Bringle, and from there to Vardhan, and then last year in September we formed the AbleKart as a part of the entire Bringle family. So that's the third venture that I am currently working on. If I talk about Vardhan, Vardhan is accessibility inclusion for persons with disability, for the elderly, and of course for people who need help in putting up accessibility as a concept and as a part of their process in corporates, in education institutions, anywhere that they need. So that's the service I am providing, making things and making spaces accessible, be it digital or physical.
You know what is the most wonderful thing that she just said? That her parents needed her. They needed help. We usually feel that somebody who's not normally able would be needing help. But here we have a rock star, Sharmila, who's telling us that her parents needed help. And this is wonderful and it's totally inspiring. And I'm totally touched, you know. I just can't stop my tears on this, what he just said. Wonderful. Okay, so tell us more about the different services Vardhan for you is offering.
Vardhan works as a conduit to give accessibility and inclusion as a service. So when I am looking at, say, an educational institution, the service that they need will be a physical audit to figure out if they have accessible premises, accessible curriculum, and if not, then what can be done to get that in shape and running an institution that can take on persons with disability as students, as staff, as principals. Why not? If I am being an entrepreneur, I can run 3 ventures, then there are so many people who are in a position to run institutions other than just an NGO. Why stop people from being their best, being their potential? So I have never had limits in my head. It's always been one step at a time, but it's always been on the up.
What has been your success mantra? You just told us one. Please add more to this.
My mantra is that I do not have any how do I put it? I don't look at a situation or a person with judgment. One, the other is I don't hear the word no. That doesn't go in there. It is not processed here. So I don't give up. That is something that I work with.
And that is definitely something which many need to learn. And this is wonderful, Sharmila ji. Okay, what is your one special message that you want to put across to the whole society? Also, tell us a little bit about Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao.
One message that I would want to put up to society. We are all very different beings, individualized. So whether we have a disability or not, the acceptance that should come from within all of us, for the rest of us, should be there. So one is accepting differences in each individual. That is the only message that I have. That please accept all of us as human beings, as potential working, thought processing human beings. Sone Chidiya is one such initiative that the Bringle family is getting out to the public. Sone Chidiya has in its arena education, employment, and entrepreneurship. Our 3 E's that we actually focus on. And there is an underlying emphasis on the part of that is healthcare, the accessibility and inclusion, so that we cover the entire globe and the entire humanity within the 3 E's. When I look at education, there's so much to do, let alone accessibility and inclusion. Our own youth that needs direction, that needs figuring out where to go, what to do. I am not talking of disability alone. This has to do with our country. And disability is a very small part of that entire 3 E's. Employment, earning, livelihoods, all of it needs to be handled. And similarly, not everyone can have a job. So what happens when you have an idea and you need to have access to certain abilities that you can bring to the country, to the table, for yourself and for the rest of the humanity. So entrepreneurship is one thing that has to be put up as a part of what the youth can give us. So Sone Chidiya is what I am putting up for the 3 E's with an emphasis on accessibility, on inclusion and healthcare.
This is totally wonderful. And I would like to tell this to the entire community out there. There are many so called able people on a show always, and they are always getting scared of the camera. They're scared of speaking. They're scared of sharing. And this woman out here, Sharmila, who is not scared of the camera at all. And she's just speaking like a bindas person. And I'm absolutely loving this. And so many congratulations to you. This is beautiful, Sharmila ji. Okay, so I'm sure you must have got many awards, recognitions, which are very close to your heart. Let's hear that.
Awards, recognitions. Well, I do have some. One that came and is very close to my heart is the one that Nasio gave me in 2008. The other is something that came my way last year in March or on Women's Day. That has been the Women Achievers Award from B.M. Patel Institutions of Anand, city in Gujarat. And a third one came this year on the same day, on Women's Day, from Rotary International, which has been a very, how should I put it? It makes my heart go blip. That is something that's really lovely. Yes, there have been awards over the years, but yeah, I don't rest on those laurels. I keep going. I keep working, and as what you said about camera, not being camera shy. Oh, I did not pick up phones. Maybe 40 years back, if you had seen me, I did not pick up phones. I did not talk. I did not even look up. So yeah, the change has come very gradually, and the camera is today a friend rather than a foe. But it has taken the time to come out and talk. Yeah.
So in the end, we would like to know that what was the actual inspiration behind this big setup that you have made, and you're an inspiration to so many women and so many people out there.
Inspiration? It's my own case. When I could not see or walk or talk, it held up my own growth. And I learned very early, at the age of 6, that I had to walk, I had to talk. Otherwise, the words would have been sitting in my head and not out of my mouth. Took me quite a bit to get there. 18 years of therapy, specialized therapy for a whole year. I gave up my 1 year of college to do that. And I continue to evolve, to be better, to be higher, flying higher. I would say. I have wings that my parents and my teachers gave me, and I use them to fly higher.
And we wish you all the luck. Abled does not mean enabled. Disabled does not mean less abled. Just believe you can and you're halfway there. This is the whole inspiration behind Sharmila ji. Her number, her details, her business websites are all available on the feed in case you need to reach out to her. She's also a counselor to many, many parents who are facing a lot of problems and who don't know the way to get the best treatments for their children. She's also a consultant for that. Get in touch with her, and I'm sure she will just help you out with whatever you need. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.